Austin L. Nibs, Administrator, CEO, Government Employees Retirement System, 3438 Crown Princess Garter, GRS Complex, 3rd floor, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, 00802. Dear Mr. Nibs, I write to you as a pension recipient who is most distressed by the situation the GRS finds itself. Your most recent newsletter predicts that unless there is a significant infusion of cash, the GRS is likely to become insolvent within 5 years. In order for the pensioners who depend on the income received from the GRS to plan for their futures, I believe additional information is needed about the potential post-insolvency reality. This moves me to pose several questions, to which I invite you to please reply. Is there any realistic hope for a bailout of GRS either from the federal or the BI government? If insolvency is projected to take place about 5 years, is there a plan in place to reduce the amount of the payments presently being made to pensioners so as to shave off the insolvency for some additional years? Should the GRS become insolvent, what plan is there for the liquidation of the system's assets? If the assets of the GRS are liquidated, will the proceeds of that liquidation be divided among the pensioners? If not, what plan is there for the disposition of these proceeds? For decades, the government of the Virgin Islands has reneged on its responsibility to ensure that GRS is adequately funded. It appears that the benefit of this monumental failure of will to do what is right by those who have worked for the government will now be visited upon all present and potential future pensioners. There is really no excuse for the failure of the local government to fulfill its duty, but at this point, what little hope that a hero will come to save the GRS. The more information the system can provide to pensioners and all the people of the Virgin Islands about the post-insolvency situation is needed and will be greatly appreciated. In many ways, you find yourself in a thankless job with what is projected to be an unhappy ending. Be that as it may, permit me to thank you for your dedicated service and your efforts to keep the GRS afloat. I look forward to your reply at your earliest convenience and offer my best wishes to you and your family for a happy, healthy holiday season and prosperous new year. Most sincerely yours, Alan Paul Shatkins. That's it.
Any questions? 30 minutes. Regular 11/15/2018. Approval, any correction, addition, deletion. Motion for approval.
So move to accept the secretary minutes as submitted.
Second.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger,
Yes.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith, absent. Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
the chair 5 yes, 2 absent.
Cases and correspondences.
Chair, we have a few pieces of correspondences. I may omit some with your indulgence. I'll read as much as we can. Correspondence dated November 21, 2018. Austin L. Nibs, Administrator, Government Employees Retirement System, GRS Complex, 3rd floor, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, 00802. A-Nibs CPA at usvigrs.com. Committee on Finance considers Bill number 32, that's 0238 on Wednesday, December 19, 2018. Dear Mr. Nibs, the Committee on Finance will meet on Wednesday, December 19, 2018 at the Virgin Islands Cardiac Center, St. Croix, Virgin Islands, St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, at 10 a.m. to consider the following bill. Bill number 32-028, an act amending Title III, Virgin Islands Code, Chapter 27, Section 715, Subsection B, paragraph 7, to require the government retirement system to seek the legislature's approval before implementation of any policy that impacts the members' benefit, proposed by Senators Dwayne McGrath and Myron D. Jackson. Sponsors of the bill cordially invite you to appear and testify. The purpose of the meeting is to receive viable testimony as we discuss legislation that will impact the current state and direction of the United States Virgin Islands. Your testimony should include all pertinent data and expert opinions as it pertains to the subject matter. Please provide written testimony by Friday, December 14, 2018. In addition, please include applicable information regarding the following. 1. Support or opposition of the proposed legislation. 2. Advantages and or disadvantages to passing the bill. 3. Economic impact or economic analysis of the proposed legislation. 4. Recommendations to the bill. Thank you in advance for your time and cooperation in this matter. Please contact Azria Rivera at 340-712-2202 or A. Rivera at legvi.org to confirm your attendance, submit testimonies, and address questions or concerns. Sincerely, Kurt Bailey, Chairman, Committee on Finance, 32nd Legislature of the Virgin Islands. Enclosure is copy to Wilbert C. Calendar, MD, MBA, Chairman, Board of GRS Board. As you know, Mr. Chairman, I submit a written copy to the board of my testimony before the legislature. Correspondence dated December 3rd, 2018 is addressed to Ms. V. Ann Golden, Chairperson, Casino Control Commission, number 5, Estate Orange Grove, Christian State, Virgin Islands 00820. A charge to notice to vacate premises, gross leasable area of 4,067 square feet. Chair Commissioner Golden. The Government Employees Retirement System hereby notifies the Virgin Islands Casino Commission that it currently owes $43,003 past due rent. The past due rent covers the periods from June through November 30, 2018. This is demand for payment. VICCC must pay the full amount owed that is stated in this notice within the next 30 days. If VICCC fails to make full payment of the amount due, the month-to-month tenancy of the aforesaid premises shall terminate immediately. In the event of such termination of tenancy, VICCC is further notified to immediately remove itself from and deliver upon possession of the aforesaid premises. Should VICCC fail to comply, its rights of possession of the property shall be terminated and legal proceedings will be instituted immediately against VICCC to recover possession and to recover tenant rents and damages for the period of unlawful detention. Only full payment of the amount owed will prevent the termination of the month-to-month tenancy. No partial payments will be accepted without the written consent of the GR. Sincerely, Austin L. Nibs, Administrator, CEO. Copies to GR's Board of Trustees. Cathy M. Smith, General Counsel. Evelyn Benapata, Chief Operation Officer. Commissioner Lucy Richards, VICC's Chair. Correspondence dated December 3rd, 2018. Dated Mr. Austin L. Nibs, Administrator, CEO, Government Employees Retirement System, 3438 Crown Princess Garden, GRS Complex, Suite 1, St. Thomas, USVI 00802-5750. Dear Mr. Nibs, Snyder Regional Medical Center has received your letter dated November 15, 2018 from the Government Employees Retirement System, stated that any contractual employee of Roy Lester Snyder Hospital receiving a W-2 is a bona fide employee of Roy Lester Snyder Hospital and must enroll as a member of the GRS. Thank you for providing the relevant provisions from Title 3, Section 703 and Section 752 of the Virgin Islands Code regarding membership in GRS. Snyder Regional is currently facing severe financial constraints and cannot comply with the demands being made by GRS without additional financial allotments from the Virgin Islands government in this current fiscal year and for every fiscal year in the foreseeable future. We have appealed again directly to the legislature and have copied the executive branch in that appeal for these funds following receipt of your letter. Because the Virgin Islands government fails to meet its obligation to properly compensate Snyder Regional for the uncompensated care, Snyder Regional Medical Center is mandated to provide to the residents of the Virgin Islands. Snyder Regional in turn cannot meet its own obligation to GRS and others. Snyder Regional Medical Center provides $30 million in uncompensated care each year to the residents of the Virgin Islands, and Snyder Regional Medical Center receives $22 million in allotments from the Virgin Islands government each year. In previous testimony, Snyder Regional Medical Center has specifically appealed to the legislature to appropriate additional funds for specific purpose of enrolling its employees on the GRS system. We have provided data to support Snyder Regional Center's request for an additional $3 million per year, which can be earmarked specifically for this purpose. In fiscal year 2017, Snyder Regional Medical Center was allotted $2.2 million from the legislature, which was never funded. In our FY 2018 testimony, we requested $3 million to fund GRS employee obligation, which was not approved. Presently, Snyder Regional Medical Center is fully paid up in our employer contributions. It would not be possible for Snyder Regional Medical Center to absorb this budget impact without additional funds from the Virgin Islands government. Snyder Regional Medical Center's current budget projects a $5 million loss for this fiscal year. As the finances currently stand, Snyder Regional Medical Center will have to make very difficult decisions about what drugs not to purchase and what position not to fill and what services not to offer. The letter states that GRS has received several complaints that employees of Roy Lester Snyder are being discouraged from joining the GRS by being advised that the agency would not pay employer contributions on their behalf. For the record, Snyder Regional Medical Center is not discouraging staff from enrolling in GRS. Snyder Regional Medical Center is unable to enroll employees onto GRS due to severe financial constraints. Snyder Regional Medical Center leadership team, primarily the Chief Compliance Officer, Legal Counsel, Chief Financial Officer, Director of Human Resources, and myself are familiar with Title III, Section 703, and section of the Virgin Islands Code, and have met with our leadership at GRS on this issue. Since that meeting, we have continued to work towards getting the funds necessary to comply. Since that meeting, we have been diligent about addressing the other issues that we raised. Snyder Regional Medical Center has addressed the retiree issue, and Snyder Regional Medical Center is now current with its employee and employer contributions. It is our position that we intend to comply by enrolling all eligible employees of Snyder Regional Medical Center receiving a W-2 as members of GRS as soon as we can responsibly fund it. Doing anything other would amount to operating in bad faith, because we know that Snyder Regional Center's current financial position, we cannot meet the payment obligations from day one of doing so. The impediment of Snyder Regional Medical Center complying with our inability to fund our position of the member. The impediment to Snyder Regional Medical Center complying is our inability to fund our portion of the membership. We simply do not have the financial capability unless we are funded through the legislature or a special appropriation is approved through some specific unrestricted funding. Our plan is to continue to vigorously pursue this funding so we can expeditiously enroll all eligible employees of Snyder Regional Medical Center onto GRS. Enrolling Snyder Regional Medical Center employees into GRS is good for the employees, good for Snyder Regional Medical Center, and good for GRS, which is in turn good for the Virgin Islands government. We have requested immediate attention and action on this pressing issue, and we will communicate our progress with you. Please advise if you require any further action on this matter. Sincerely, Bernard A. Wheatley, Chief Executive Officer. Copies to the Office of the Governor, President of the 32nd Legislature, Cathy M. Smith, General Counsel, GRS, and Sharon D. Sasso, Director, Member Services, GRS. Email from press. It's addressed to Austin L. Nibs. As per our phone conversation, we're interested in more the numbers from a broader perspective. To wit, 1. How widespread is phenomenon of double dipping? How many people? At least 5 current or incoming senators are former police officers, and I presume we add them to the list. How many senators are claiming pension which also receiving the salaries? This might fall under privacy protection you mentioned, but I think it's a relevant question. Apart from the legislature, how many executive branch employees returned to work and triggered the cancellation of their pension? 2. How much do double dippers owe? I'm interested in 2 figures related to this. The first, the total amount of money paid out from GRS to people who also receive a government pension at any point. The second is how much of a pension obligation was created when portion of the retirees are overpaid. 3. Based on the numbers in the second question, how many of a financial threat does this pose to the GRS? We have talked about massive unfunded liabilities in the past. Is this bigger or smaller issue relative to that? 4. In regards to return of pensioners to work related to the cancellation of GRS loan program, why or why not, in your opinion? On this particular issue, that's all the questions I have for this story. Please let me know. Regards, Brian O'Connor, dealing with there's a letter dated December 7, 2018 from the Office of the Governor-elect, United States Virgin Islands. Mr. Snell lives Administrator Government Employees Retirement System of the Virgin Islands, 3438 Princess Garden, GRS Complex, 3rd floor, St. Thomas, USVI 00802. By electronic mail only, nibscp@usvigrs.com. Dear Mr. Nibs, as you are aware, I will begin my term as governor on January 7, 2019. To ensure a smooth transition, I am hereby requesting that you and your staff provide our transition team with the below requested information. Shortly after, you will be asked to meet with the members of the transition team to discuss the status of your operation, critical issues, as well as long and short-term opportunities and strategies that will best position us to address those challenges. Specifically, please provide us with the following information on or before December 12, 2018. 1. An overview of your agency's major activities, responsibilities, and duties, documents provided the staffing structure, filled and unfilled position, historical and current budgets and performance measures, as well as current priorities, long and short-term opportunities, major challenges, and plans in process. 2. Interagency and intergovernmental issues which require immediate attention and recommendation for correcting said issues. 3. Your organizational chart with management staff names, titles, salaries, email addresses, and cell numbers. 4. Detailed information on any pending federal or regulatory requirements that must be met by the agency within the upcoming year, and providing an ongoing audits or investigation of any type. 5. Any major legislative committee reviews, audits, or other examination or reviews of agency programs underway or recently completed, and the results of such reviews, as well as pending litigation. 6. Indicate all programs, size of your budget, all funded sources and amounts. List all outstanding obligations and include the vendor's name, date incurred, amount, and plan for payments. Dana, Clendenin, or Carl Knight will contact you directly to find a mutually agreeable time to meet. Please forward all requested information to dmarie.clendenin@gmail.com. We look forward to listening to you and your team and email the challenges your agency face as we transition to a healthier course. Sincerely, Albert Bryan, Governor-elect. Chairman, I'm not going to read the major headings of this correspondence because it's very, very long. Dated December 10, 2018, Mr. Austin Nibs, Administrator Government Employees Retirement System, 3438 from Princess Garden, GRS Complex, Suite 1, St. Thomas, BI 00802-5750. Dear Austin, in order for us to complete our evaluation of October 1, 2018, we will need you to provide the data as outlined below. Please provide these items as quickly as possible. We are available to discuss these requirements for your team if desired. As regards to pensioners, please send us a file of pensioners and beneficiaries receiving benefits as of September 30, 2018. And it goes on to say the file should consist of 15 different items and the type of pensions. Also, they would like us to enclose a file of all active employees who are participants in the retirement system of September 30, 2018. Then it goes on to describe what type of files are necessary to go in. Inactives, please send us a file of inactive, vested and non-vested employees who did not withdraw their employee contributions of September 30, 2018. Also further asks for certain items in those files. For debt, please enclose a file of active, retiree and beneficiary debts during the year ended September 30, 2018. Also asks for certain information regards to our deceased members. Number 5, financial data for the plan year ended December 30, 2018. A copy of the auditor's report for the year, including a statement of assets and a statement of income and expenses. B, update the attached list of employer and employee contributions for each department for the plan year ended September 30, 2018. If you have any questions, please call. Sincerely, Alvin Frias. Copies to Rocky Joyner, Jonathan Spotter, Lizette Ortiz. Correspondence dated December 10, 2018. This correspondence was sent to me as a copy in regards to our loan with the government of the Virgin Islands. But I'll read it. It is written to the bank in Puerto Rico, Maria Cana in St. Thomas. Maria Cana, First Bank, Puerto Rico, P.O. Box 309-600, Waterfront Branch, Charlotte Amalie, St. Thomas, BI 00802. The account with ending 0667. Regards to collecting agent agreement dated as of October 1, 1999 by and among the Bank of York Mellon Trust Company, N.A. as successor special escrow agent, the special escrow agent, the government of the United States Virgin Islands, the government, and the First Bank Puerto Rico as successor collecting agent, the collecting agent. Them is Khan, in accordance with section 1A of the collecting agent agreement, please transfer from the special real property tax receipt fund to the trustee the sum of $216,445.83 for the December 15, 2018 payment of debt service on the Virgin Islands Public Authority 2011 Property Tax Revenue Application Note, Virgin Islands Property Tax Revenue Subordinate Lien Gross Receipts Tax Loan Note Retirement Incentive Program. The money had to be wired to the pledged revenue account. Please use the wiring instruction. Please feel free to contact me. Delete the telephone number. If you have any questions or additional information, thank you. Best regards, Jennifer T. Reed. Last piece of correspondence dated December 11, 2018, addressed to Mr. Austin L. Nibbs, Administrator, Government Employees Retirement System of the Virgin Islands, 3438 Princess Garter, GRS Complex, Suite 1, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, 00802 5750. Regards to notice to vacate premises, gross leasable area of 4,667 square feet. Via email, anibcp@usvigrs.com. Their Administrator, CEO Nibbs. Allow us to formally acknowledge receipt of your letter dated December 3rd, 2018 and delivered on December 7, 2018 regarding above referenced subject matter. Be assured that we completely understand the position of GRS and its Board of Trustees and will work to ensure the outstanding payments are made in full by the deadline. Similarly, Commissioner Stacy Bourne and myself has committed through our recent action to eliminate all outstanding payments owed to the GRS. We have attached copies of our payments made since August of 2018 and look forward to addressing all outstanding amounts owed to the GRS. For easy reference, we attach copies of the payments made since August of 2018 and the most recent payment of December 4, 2018. We look forward to an updated tenant billing invoice and remain available if any further clarity is necessary. thank you for your patience and look forward to the implementation of the new proposed lease. Sincerely, OCR Richards, VICCC Commissioner and Vice Chair. Copy, Violet Angolan, VICCC Chair, Stacy Abon, VICCA Commissioner and Treasurer, Kathy M. Smith, General Counsel, Evelyn Benapata, Chief Operating Officer. Gentlemen, indulgence, I have one last piece of correspondence. Comments from the Office of the Governor-elect, dated December 16, 2018, Austin L. Nibbs, Administrator, Government Employees Retirement Services, 3438 Comprehensive Garden, Suite 1, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, 00802-5720. Dear Administrator Nibbs, thank you and your staff for the opportunity afforded to the members of the Brian Roach Transition Team, Government Personnel and Operation Committee to meet with you to gather information that will lend to a smooth transition and the change of administration. As a follow-up to our discussion and request for additional information, please find below a list of requested documents. Overview of the legislative proposal, Governor Kenneth Mapp submitted to the legislature to support the system. Written findings on the impact of reinstating the loan program. U.S. Inspector General report on the impact of oil retirement program. Letter sent to the Department of Finance and Office of Management and Budget to request lump sum of funds allotted in fiscal year 2019 budget. Outcome of the public pension program forum held in August 2019. Listing of employees pending dismissal, NOPAs, and missing employer contributions in order to facilitate retirement benefits. Listing of IT assets, office furniture, and other equipment. Copies of all leases and contracts for professional services, communications, repairs, utilities, roads, etc. Included Omni Systems, Oracle Systems, VIA, SmartNet, VINGN, Dell, Software One, Southeast. List of all IT applications, status of support, expiration dates, intent to renew, and costs, i.e. Sage, Mass 500, Darklink, etc. Report on insurance to ensure summary of actuary findings, funds received, FEMA assistance, and mitigation. Organizational chart of the IT department. Major IT initiative and infrastructure upgrades. Draft IT policies. Succession planning report and years of services of employees. Diagram of network to reflect connection between St. Thomas and St. Croix. List of board members and terms. Copies of prior transition report. We are hopeful to receive the aforementioned information no later than Monday, December 17, 2018. To facilitate the work of our committee, information may be provided on a separate cover as it becomes available to krod@gpottransition.com. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me at 340-473-9660. Sincerely, Kevin A. Rodriguez, Chair, Government Personnel Operation Committee. Mr. Chairman, that ends the reading of the correspondences.
Thank you, sir. Trustees, any comments? Any questions? Lengthy. No comments?
Well,
Question?
I wanted to find out from Mr. Names if he has responded to the two letters from the governor.
We met with the governor, the transition team, last week. We gave them, they had requested information that was due on the 17th. We provided that information to them initial, and then they came back with this laundry list that we just read. I know that Ms. Clendenin and Kathy Smith, Attorney Smith, have accumulated as much as we can. I think the only thing that is missing would be the transition report, the last transition report. That's when the MAP administration came in. And I think that's, and the U.S. Inspector General report on the impact of early retirement. Now, Ms. Clendenin did submit to me yesterday. I haven't reviewed it, but we are just missing those two items that I can remember. So we will submit that to them maybe tomorrow, or as soon as I get to review it, I'll submit that to them.
But you're already late, you know that, right?
Sir? as you know, we had a testimony yesterday.
Pitch it to the wrong person.
Oh, okay, so, I mean, Ms. Clandinez has been, I let her spearhead the project, she has been in contact with them, however, she did send it to me, Tuesday evening, and I haven't been able to, but I know that those two items were the only items I think that are missing. And we may just forward it to them and tell them we'll submit those items. We cannot find the Inspector General
So the
report.
one I sent you wasn't in?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, I can't find it.
So if I instructed Ms. Glandine, she wants to call Department of Interior, because we don't have a president of the US Inspector General on the island anymore.
And it's
So
not
maybe
on.
they may have a copy in their files, in the archives of the US Interior in Washington, DC.
Okay, secondly, Mr. Nibs, can you clarify the letter from First Bank?
That's the $13 million loan.
Uh-huh.
The payment was due on December 15th. We did receive the interest, however, they are waiting for the closing documents to the loan, and that would be the $13 million loan that the government had loaned from us. It would have been paid up by December 15th, by the end of this month.
All right.
Just come with it,
You still have a question.
because you're HF.
No, I'm not sure. For most of the information that it requests, I think it's normal. But, and Terry can maybe answer this for me. The request for all of the IT information, is that standard? Cause they're doing a deep dive in our IT in what some of the requests that they've asked for. Is that normal?
Good morning, everybody. I've never really been part of a previous, transition team process, so I don't know if that is standard or not. What I would say for the record is some of the information being requested, I think, is a little bit too detailed, especially when it comes to our financial information with some of our vendors. But we're working to be as cooperative with the transition team as possible.
And that's kind of where I'm going, because I'm looking at the information, especially with the IT stuff. We're not there. What is that guy there? Their IT department. So if we were their IT, this is stuff that you ask your manager or your director for in your IT area. This is not theirs. So there's things that they're asking, and the inner nerd in me knows what most of this stuff is. So I think that's a little more than they need to have privy to. You know, I'm not sure how everybody else feels about that. But this is not standard, and to me it's a little deeper than they need to be going, as far, especially when it comes to our IT. I mean, there's no need. They have to explain to me why they would need that level of information before I would give it to them. They would have to explain to me the rationale.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I've been on 2 previous transition things. I did express that to them, that when I saw the listing, that to me, this is an autonomous agency. There's, I am supervised by a board. The board is who runs the
Board says no.
agency. Pardon?
Nothing, I'm sorry.
What I'm saying, I'll come to you. And I didn't think that it was necessary, because I've never seen so much detailed information requested before. It appears to me they sent it out to all the autonomous agencies in the spirit of cooperation. And I think we got to respond. Okay, I'm not gonna start out a relationship in the wrong way.
Amen for that.
Please let me finish,
Amen.
okay?
Yeah.
All right? Now, in regards to the IT, I think we had 2 IT persons there, and because I had to call Mr. Thomas into the room at that time when we were asking questions. I felt it was a little detailed, I'm not sure if they're trying to get where VI, because I remember in the Young administration, they wanted to put everything under VINGN, the entire infrastructure and everything. Maybe that's where they're going. But I don't think it's gonna hurt. Like I said, let's see, we give them what we have. I don't think there's any secrecy to, as long as we don't give out codes and all of that stuff, there's no secrecy to say what type of equipment we have and blah, 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 what our needs are. Maybe they might be able to help us with grants. I don't know. But I think that I'll provide them what we have. There's a lot of information I told them is already public. So I think in the spirit of cooperation, to start out on the right foot, we give them what we have. That's my position.
Well, I'm not trying to be the adversarial, but that was just, because that's why I asked for Terry's input, because I just see that it's just too deep a dive for a request of a transition.
You're right.
I'm not so sure about, we have leases with A, B, C, D, D. I'm not comfortable giving, I'm not that we have anything to hide, but why are we giving them the leases, our IT, why are we giving them copies of, I mean, public knowledge information is one thing, that's fine, but I don't think leases and the contracts are, I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but as far as, I mean, even something as simple as, you need a list of all my office furniture, really?
We give it, the legislature requested every year.
Okay,
We give it
okay.
to the legislature.
So,
So it's not that we have the information ready available. They request the same type of language list when we go before them, and they don't have anything to do with our budget.
I'm just
And they
asking,
ask
that's
for
why I
it.
asked for Terry.
Well, like I say, I feel in the spirit of cooperation, let's do it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. If it's gonna help us, hopefully, maybe they wanna give it, maybe their grants out there or something. I don't know.
So it's not putting any additional burden on you and your staff.
Well, we have it. We already have it accumulated. Mr. Thomas has already done it. Everything is already done in the last couple of days. Because we have already have that information available for the legislature every year, most of the time. So Mr. Thomas has been up to date with the strategic plan and all that stuff, so we have it available. As long as there's no secrecy or any confidential information that is being requested, like I said again, in the spirit of cooperation.
See, my initial feeling is, and I would have agreed, Trustee Carwood, not to give them too much information in. Why do they need an organization in charge of an IT department? For what reason? What did they do? Are they going to tell us to change it? No, they can't tell us to do that. So why give it to them? But, and you say now in the spirit of corporation and corporation.
Big thing, I was gonna take that.
We'll do it. I have no problem. If Mrs. Nils has no problem with it,
Because Dr. Connor, this have been divulged to the public before. If you go to our response to the legislature each year, we usually give them some of the same information. They requested, and I always say to Ms. Brio, why they need all this information? But we give it to them because they requested it.
so let's.
As long as Mr. Thomas feels there's no confidential information being given out, there is no,
And if there is, you can redact it and.
Correct.
The
So,
leases
and
and the contracts for our IT services and
we
the,
send that to the legislature every year because they ask for every contract that we have.
Okay. See, any other comments, any other questions?
I don't think we should be,
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I was gonna comment on an earlier, statement. I forgot who requested it, but Mr. Nid was saying something about the IG report. And I think he had asked Ms. Clendenin to reach out to them. My thought was, it's like a request for production of document. You're only obligated to give them what you have. So I don't know that we need to go that extra step to ask the IG's office or the Interior Department to provide it to us. If we don't have it, we simply tell them we don't have it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have gone publicly on this report from other administrators report in regards to the 9 unfunded mandates. All it has to do is 9 unfunded mandates. Okay?
It's helpful.
And I have said, when I came here, I found through old reports, and I can't go back and put my hand on it. There were a report that was done by the U.S. Inspector General. These are public documents. You know, we're getting too technical here.
This is a
In a
concern.
spirit of cooperation, let's move forward. We had a meeting last night where we're gonna need their help.
I agree with
Let's
you.
move on.
I agree with you, sir.
Would you
Support.
data bank?
Any other?
I support.
Put in barriers all the time.
Attitude about this. It's not a fight. At the very
Union
beginning.
data bank, I'm trying to look for it, I don't remember the year.
I'm not so sure, Mr. Liger, because I'm not so sure. I'm requesting a rationale for request. I don't think is a fight. It's not even being adversarial.
Yeah, but
I mean, if you're asking for certain things that's not normally standard, I reserve the right to request a rationale for your request. I'm not saying don't give it to them, but I'm like, why do you need this deeper dive in our IT? Are you planning our system? Are you looking at what? I need to know why. I mean, when someone asks me something, I like to know why you're requesting it. I'm not saying not to give it to them, but I'd like to know the rationale for going beyond the regular request. They may have a really good reason because they're looking at something. They might be comparing it to somebody, but I'd like to know why. I'm not saying not to give it to them. I just want to know why they want it.
But we don't ask the legislature that question.
Right.
We give it to them.
Thank you, sir.
The legislature has asked you before for a deep dive into our IT,
I have to go back, but I know they do ask about IT issues.
because that's the only thing that I'm looking at, because that's something I'm not known to be standard.
I think our strategic plan, we
I'm
have
just
been,
asking.
we have been on record with our strategic plan and what equipment we have and all of that stuff. We do it all the time.
No, I'm just asking, because it's not a normal request to me. It's just new to me to see
But
something
Trustee
deep.
Coward, remember what I said? When I saw it, I said, no, they don't need all of this. And I started thinking about it. And I even told them in front, I said, you know, this is kind of rare. I've never had such
And did
a
they
deep dive.
respond to you with about
I
that?
said, well, you know, we just want to get familiar with the agency and all that stuff, you know. And then they start asking a lot of questions about IT, and I said, no, I can't answer those questions. And I asked Mr. Thomas to come, because he speaks their language. But
You understand that, Catherine? When you take a deep dive into one segment, it, like the bulbs. Terry, okay, let's go ahead.
Any other questions? Any other issues? I have a question on the letter from Dr. Ridley from Schneider Hospital.
yes, sir.
Not appropriate for in legal, that's appropriate response?
No, and we've drafted, Attorney Myers drafted a response to him telling him regardless of whether or not he has the funds, he has to abide by the law.
Of course.
I have not reviewed the report. I didn't like the language in the report. I'm editing the report. All I'm gonna ask him for is a list of his employees. If he does not comply, then we can do whatever legally, do the same thing we did with Juan Louis Hospital. He's knowledgeable of the law. He promised 2 years ago to submit these NOPAs of these individuals who want 1099. I don't think he has complied. So all I need is a list of those employees. If he does not, then submit a list of employees. Then we go the same route as Juan Louis.
You know, it's not that the employees who may have been working there for 6 months or a year, the individuals who've been working there for 5 and 6 years.
Yes, correct.
We've got complaints from the union, the nurses union, saying that when they go, they're upset because they realize they've been working 10 years and they don't have a retirement fund. And so they were kinda upset because they realized that there are other individuals, so they claim, I can't verify that, that do have a 401k and they have nothing. So they came to us to see what we could do about it, and that's when, you know, we sent the letter out again reminding them of their obligation.
I actually 2 days ago was speaking to one of my former students who's a new nurse, and the conversation was the fact that they don't have retirement, they have to do their own 401. And she said she wished they could be part of the retirement system, there'd be less stress on them. I said, well, that's interesting because we were having a conversation about that a couple weeks ago. I said, you will just have to go and you have to put a request. It's GRS, we can't go out and look for you, but if you want to be part, or you let your boss know you want to be a part, they have to allow you the opportunity.
What we invited them to do, and it was an initial letter to him, is to have, we were willing to go out to Snyder Regional and sit with employees, and if they want to file an application for membership, do everything, didn't respond to that. So what we're gonna do, I'm not gonna get involved in the legal part of it. All I need is a copy of your full-time equivalent, and anyone is on a consultant basis, to me within X amount of days. If you don't do that, then I think we can go the same route as to the courts. We do that? The same thing we did?
It would be helpful, and I'm spoken to the union if they would send us somebody to apply for membership.
I told them.
And I've been telling them that's more helpful because then we can do it on behalf of that individual and other individuals similarly situated. So I will remind them of, to come back to us.
Well, I think what happened is the employees may feel intimidated and they don't want to come forward. But we expressed that we're willing to come out there to sit with employees, let them know what their rights are. And we'll have applications for membership there. But the employee can come down anytime. But all I need is a list of their full-time equivalents, and anyone is on board as a consultant on a 1099. And when I get that list, then maybe we can communicate with what we can file some type of action. And I think that's the route to go, that it is back and forth all the time.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Other questions? Thanks, Mr. Mills. Move on to Chairperson's report. I had just a few comments. Some of this I had written some of this prior to Mr. Nibb's presentation of the legislature yesterday, so it may not be significant now, but they had already been written, and so I'm not delete it. With the results of the recent gubernatorial election, I am hoping that there will be a change in the attitude of the office of the governor regarding GERS. I believe that with the majority of the members, and I think that will be the majority of the members of the 33rd legislature having been executive branch employees previously, that they also will make a concerted effort to preclude the GERS from becoming insolvent. And on a happy note, with the resignation of A.G. Walker, we will be free of that echo who consistently repeated misinformation that was promulgated by the outgoing governor regarding bad investments by the system. A legislative hearing was scheduled and held yesterday regarding bill number 32-0232, which mandated that, and we quote, the GRS must seek the legislature's approval before implementation of any policy that impacts the members' benefits, end of quote. My impression that this was simply a continuation of the legislature's demand for the GRS to reinstate the loan program. The governor and legislators who occupied their respective offices for the past 47 years had adequately funded the system. There would not be any need for this bill. Unless money is given to the system earmarked specifically for loans and separate from the required contributions, there will be no reinstatement of the loan program for members. This bill will in no way address the GRS crisis on a routine basis, as stated by Senator DeGraff. In fact, it will not address the GRS crisis in any way. Only money will. The bill is an absolute waste of time and resources. To the GS family, during the coming year, we hope to communicate with each other in a more magnanimous manner and really treat each other as family and commit to achieving the same goals. Remember to be watched. I want to close by wishing all active members, retirees, and GS personnel a happy holiday season, and good health and success during 2019. Thank everybody. Mr. Ned, you want to make some comments on what happened yesterday at that state?
Well, I sent members a copy, the board members a copy of my
Testimony.
the testimony. I think I sent it to the senior staff. They said they have a copy in St. Thomas. And I agree with you in regards to it was a continuation of this thing about the loan program, because before I made my speech, Senator Bailey said the same thing.
No,
Senator DeGraff. And he did say also, so Senator Bailey did cut in and say, well, this don't have anything to do with the loan program. So what they did, I did read my testimony into it, and it was very favorable response from them. And so what they did, they tabled the bill. I think they really wanted to just vote it down, however, came to a compromise to table the bill, because they see that we don't have any authority, and we have never changed members' benefits. We don't have any authority to do so, based on the Organic Act in regards to the impairment of a contract. And it's in the code also. And the only thing they had given us was limited authority to raise rates, which is 3% each for the next over 5-year period, which we already did. And I think we may not be able to raise the rate in 2020, the employer rate, because Senator Velez said, I guess he, in lieu of raising the rate, he said it gave us a $19 million appropriation in the miscellaneous section to cover the prior period missing employer contributions. So, because he felt there was a limited authority in giving us granting us that authority was limited authority to raise the rates. But we don't have any. I mean, the board must be given credit. I mean, our actuary came and said, look, you need to cut members' benefits 30%. The board had serious discussion about it, and we made a decision that we didn't have the authority. What they were saying is that we should have come to them with a recommendation. I don't know. They said that we can recommend to them, so we could have come to them to the recommendation that we lower the benefits by 30%. But we already know we don't have the authority, so why should we recommend it? I think, you know.
They're jokes. They just trying to back at us. That's all they do. We get some time.
So I think that has been the case. That case has been rested. So I wish Senator Sanis was there yesterday, because we would like to get the bill forward. I don't think they have time to get it before they go Senate, so that we can change the payments from 2 payments per month to 1 payment per month. Because as you said, you know, in my statement, I told them what's going to happen come 2023. Benefits are going to be changed somehow, benefit payments, if you don't have $136+ million every year to supplement that deficit. Who's going to, are there going to be appropriation to pay us? So does GRS have to come to you every month to ask for $11.3 million? I don't know what's going to happen. So hopefully they start putting things in place, because we have given them as much information as we can as to what is going to happen if something does not, there's no large infusion of cash. Because with the proposals that I've seen on the table, that is before them today, it's still going to have a deficit, because we won't have any more monies to draw from. So you're going to have a deficit. How is that deficit going to, how is it going to, you know, be funded? So you're still going to have a reduction in somehow in benefit payments to the retirees. Okay? So you're not going to get 100%.
Call with you?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, then let's go to the administrator's report.
Mr. Chairman, I'll try to be as brief as possible, I think. On November 26th, I attended an evidentiary hearing in district court. I was called to testify at the hearing. During the hearing, I was not supposed to testify, however, I was asked to testify. And that's in regards to the GERS versus the government of Virgin Islands in regards to the contributions. On December 3rd through the 6th, I attended deposition in Charlotte, North Carolina in the lesser matter. On December 13th, I met with Mr. Ashbury and his consultants in the VI finance matter. December 13th, I met with the transition team assigned to the GRS. December 19th, I provided testimony before the Committee on Finance, Bill number 320238. On December 19th, I attended a board meeting for Carambola Beach Owners, Resort Owners Association. December 19th, I attended a board meeting for Carambola Northwest LLC. December 19th, I attended the investment committee meeting regards to Jones Lang LaSalle presentation on our real estate properties. The government of the Virgin Islands is basically up to date with their payments. They're not behind like they used to. The last posting, I think, was probably November 22nd. Ms. Griot, any new posting dates?
No, it's still 11/22.
Okay, they posted up to 11/22, so they're behind only one pay period so far now. The autonomous agencies are current except UVI is posted through 9/25. WAPA dates outstanding on 9/6/2018 through 11/29/2018. Few pay periods. Wang Louis is posted up to 6/22/2017. Outstanding files for pay period 7/6/2017 through 8/16/2018 are outstanding. So we do have some issues with Wang Louis. Working diligently, I've seen emails back and forth trying to get that corrected. In regards to our prior period missing employee contribution, as you know, we had an estimate done by the Seagull, which was $47 million. However, during the during the evidentiary hearing in November 26th, during the evidentiary hearing on November 26th, when I was called as a witness and questioned by Judge Gomez, I testified that because of a rollout of the annual benefit statements as of December 31, 2017, there was a more accurate amount that is available for each active and inactive. Inactive mean those members not eligible for retirement, however they have contributions still on the record. And the employer portion expected and what was received, I could have get that information. It would be more accurate than the estimate that was done by Seagull back in 2013. And I provided to the courts. We came back and I asked IT to go into the database and come up with unaudited actuals based on the rollout of the annual benefit statements through December 31, 2017. And lo and behold, look what we found. Prior periods, employer missing contribution of $72.2 million instead of 40. Right now, the actuary came up with 47, and we've been liquidating it. It's down to 31.5. However, our actual records now. This was done because of the V3 and because of the rollout of the annual benefit statement. It shows employee and employer from day one, from when you came in up to December. The government owes us employer missing contribution of $72.2 million. That excludes lost investment. And prior periods missing employee contributions now of $40.3 million. These are coming directly from the employee records and employer records. Now we are also aware that $19 million was appropriated, and this is in court right now. This was submitted to the judge, and Attorney Myers and Attorney Smith had discussions with the government, and our outside counsel had discussions with the government attorneys. However, the judge will rule and make a decision. But this is actual information. It's unaudited. We stated unaudited because when an evaluation is done, it could be more, it could be less, depends. However, this is what's in the records right now. Or maybe a NOPA could be missing, but I feel very confident, at least a good 95% or more. I would say 95 is a good confidence level that the information is correct. Okay? I looked at my statement and my statement was correct. What we did is we rolled it out before the HR people, the HR personnel officers. We asked them to go back and encourage their members to go up to the system and look at their records and review them. If they see anything that is not right, to come back and speak with us. I don't think we've been getting too many people coming back. Okay. For the December 31 payroll, there's an acting O&D director now, and I sent him and the commissioner a letter on December 13 requesting $247,988.55 for members who are retiring on the payroll at the end of this month. I'm not sure, Ms. Jeremiah, you received anything yet?
No.
Okay, I haven't received a response from him as yet. However, we'll follow up tomorrow, with him today or tomorrow. In regards to Act 7261, there's no update. Act 7128, there's no update. As far as refunds, we have paid out from January through November 30, 2018, we have paid out $7.2 million in refunds for those individuals who are not vested. Regular is, on the schedule is shown as regular, highlighted. We received 614 applications for those members, and we have paid out 405 to a tune of $6.5 million. So that tells us that a lot of individuals, a lot of members who are not vested are leaving the system. And as I pointed out to the legislature yesterday, this is something that we should be looking at, because as soon as they get closer to the insolvency date. Now I know I've lost about 15 people already, just about, very close to that, who have left because they've gotten close to the, to the 10 years of service. So you're gonna find where members who are getting close to the 10 years of service, they're gonna leave the system, and that's bad for us, because we need contributions. If 6.5 or let's say 7 million, 8 million is leaving every year between now and then, that's a lot of money. So I brought that up yesterday also in my testimony. In regards to getting retirees retired, I think the member services has been doing pretty well. I think they've been doing a bang-up job in trying to get the members out. As you can see, for 2017, it's on page 6. Of the 275 individuals, only 9 individuals are still remaining, have not been paid the initial contributions. And also for 2018 up to November, of the 339, 210 remaining, meaning a lot of individuals now are getting ready to retire through the end of the year. So you're gonna, a lot of teachers retired probably in September or August, so they're still waiting. But I must say, the waiting time to receive your initial annuity has been cut down drastically. I think now I've seen people retired in July, they already got the check. That's why we're asking, encouraging the members. You can go up and member services, member self-serve, and you can look at your annual statement, balance of employee contribution and employee contributions. And if you see anything that is wrong, come to us. I think the only other thing I think is a problem, maybe it's a loan situation sometime. However, we're getting individuals out the door maybe 90 or 120 days. I'm on 6 months and 9 months. So I think I must commend all employees or whoever, everyone that has to do with with, because it's not only member services, it's other pieces that also have to interact internally. And we're getting members faster out the door. I don't want to use the word out the door, but they're being able to retire within 90 or 120 days. The annuity payments, December 14th, we had 8,563 retirees. The total annuity payments paid out since from October through December 14th, $51.7 million. Retirees that were added to the payroll, sorry, it wrapped around, is 106 from October through December 2014, 2018. Retirees that were added to the payroll on December 14 were 8. Retirees expected to be placed on the December 30 payroll was 28. So we hope to have individuals, 28 retirees getting their payroll at the end of the year 28, the initial payroll. And we deleted from October to December 14, 16 just passed away, and they were deleted from the payroll. The gross payroll for December 14 was $10.3 million. In regards to our loan portfolio, this activity is ongoing and reconciliation process. However, as you can see, the loan portfolio is decreasing. And the personal loan portfolio has been decreasing, well, somewhat, lose like 100 a month or so. And by the 2023, we should not have any more loans on the books. Personal loans.
Fine.
We still have the
2025.
2021?
2025.
Okay, fine. Hopefully they will pay up before 2023. So, we will press on them to pay up before 2023 if they can. In regards to our buildings, we're trying to see if we can hold out this White House for rental. I will come up with some income producing project for the system. And we had internal discussions, and I think it was Attorney Myers was involved in this, and with Mr. Barrows, and we came up. We had two electrical contractors. However, one didn't respond. So LA Electric, they did some work for us, and we're gonna be able to separate the meters, because we want to determine why could they really recommend, if we're gonna do that, we should determine what uses are being done by the tenant, that, you know, the usage of the kilowatts usage, so they can be able to, instead of using square footage, it'll be actual amounts that were used, and we'll be able to. So we're gonna go forward with, it's a very small amount investment, we can always make that back to do that. The termite treatment and everything on that building has been done. I think the air conditioner project that the roof has also been done, so we need to get that place rented. The rental from, potential rental from the WTGX fell through, so hopefully we'll get that done very shortly. St. Croix Complex, do have some repairs being done. I can see it around around the property, and all work, hopefully the work for the access repairs area near the stairs, downstairs, and that has been done. It was completed December 10th. However, the fencing repairs is ongoing at the complex in St. Croix. There are some other issues with downstairs with Pleasant. You can read that. I don't want to read everything into the record, but the Radiant was involved, Ms. Potter involved. She's on top of that information. But we are working diligently to do whatever repairs we have with our tenants. Casino repairs still await contractor availability. Spada did tell me the commission is making every effort. We did send out to pay their rent, come up to date. They're still delinquent. And you know, we did send out a notice to quit. So we're working with them as much as we can, but if it falls behind again, we'll have to send out a notice to quit letter. St. Thomas Complex, still about the same. The air conditioner proposal that came in. Espada had a meeting with Geranian and those individuals, and I think we're gonna have to come up to a decision as what is best for air conditioning. I think Geranian feel that the cost effective to select an alternate proposal, so we need to do that very swiftly. The exterior skin remains on hold. You know, that project is the outside of the building. We have some problems with the skin, the exterior covering of the building. So we have to wait for, depending on the availability of the contractor. The lease extension with Rescare was finalized, and everybody has signed off. I've not heard any complaints from the Housing Authority downstairs, so it seems like they have settled in their premises. The collection report is Exhibit B. As you can see, in November 2018, rental collection was $26,127.20. Electrical collection $49,250.61. Rental year to date was FY 2018. That should be 2019. Is $304,490.36. And electrical year-to-date collection FY 2019 is $233,602.63. Our rental arrearages $124,225.88. The major contributors to that, obviously, the Casino Commission $30,503. Justice $337,063, and Division of Personnel $26,378.88. Electrical arrearages $59,948.39. Majority of that is Justice and Personnel.
Mr. Nibbs,
Yes?
if I may provide an update since that report was completed.
Sure.
If you look at the arrearages, the only thing we have received all rental arrearages, the current. The only amounts now outstanding is the electrical arrearage for Justice and Personnel.
So you have received the rental arrearages?
Yes, everything has been received as of yesterday.
Okay, thank you for that update. Insurance claims, our claims for the Havenson Mall, our settlement claim was 5.8 million. We had a deductible of 1.5 million. And what we should collect is 4.3. We had an advance of 1 million, and the balance owed to us is 3.3 million. For the office complex in St. Thomas, our settlement amount was 1.6 million. Deductible was 322,500. Our net collectible is 1.2 million. We had an advance of 500,000. So the balance owing us is $746,385.49. So therefore, the combined amount, the settlement amount for combined was for the Havenside Mall and the GRS office complex, 7.4 million. Our deductible is 1.8 million. Our net collectible is 5.6 million. We had an advance of 1.5, so we have a balance of $4.1 million. And Ms. Clendenning, could you give us something on the FEMA?
Okay, good morning. As said in your report, we received the first of what we hope to be many checks for categories A and B. Category A is debris removal and B is emergency measures. So on St. Croix, we received $77,263.20 from FEMA. And on St. Thomas, we received $83,760 for a total so far of $161,023.20. We do anticipate in the next few days another check of approximately a little more than $200,000, and that would be the final category A and B check, and that one will be for St. Thomas. I'm currently working with our new, FEMA has assigned new partners for us and our liaison through Vitima on our permanent work for the St. Thomas, St. Croix buildings, as well as the Haven Site Mall. We expect to receive more money on the St. Croix building because the deductible, our deductible was so high that the damages did not rise to that level. So we didn't get any proceeds for the St. Croix building. So FEMA will take that up for us. And what they cover in permanent work, again, is all your deductibles. So you get all your deductibles back. They did identify some areas we could mitigate. So we will be taking advantage of that also. So that's the update. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Employee relations, we did have our annual employee recognition program on December 14th, and we're sorry that we didn't officially invite the board. There was a little, because of what occurred. Initially we wanted to have a building, we wanted to combine DOJ and all our tenants in a big building party, and this was the plan. We had to have a committee involved in Iraq that was planning this, and those individuals were supposed to come up with some funds, and at the last minute they couldn't come up with the funds, so we had to cancel. I was away at the time in the depositions, and I didn't get back on the day before the party, but Ms. Glennon did contact me and said we had to do Plan B. So Plan B was where we were. Walker was grateful to, on short notice to assist us in getting it together. So we did have a very nice, same thing that we had last year. The employees were there, just about all employees from St. Croix came over for the day, and we had a very good day. But I want to mention in that program there were honorees. We had 2 employees who made 5 years of service. They were given an award. There were 7 who had 10 years of service. There were 3 who had 15 years of service who received award. There was 1 with 25 years of service, 2 with 30 years of service, and 2 with 35 years of service were given awards during that program. We had 4 employees who retired in fiscal year 2018. So far in 2018. There were 8. There are employees who were promoted due to vacancies, 8. And we hired 10 new individuals. New hires could mean employees who were promoted, not that we have 10 new people that came in. So is that correct, Ms. Glendinen? 10 new hires?
Yes.
From outside?
Yes.
Okay, 10 new hires from outside because we couldn't fill it from within. And separated, resigned after September 2017 were 18 members. So we had 18 since the hurricane. 18 of our employees resigned and left and went away. So we had 18 people that resigned since the hurricane. Right now, as of December 20th, we have 85 full-time employees. This has been reduced from, we had about 100, close to 100 one time, and it's down to 85 now. I think this may go down some more as we get closer to 2023. I think some of the employees may leave, like I said, and we would have to. We're presently in the mode of cross training. employees. I think with technology that we have, if we work smarter and not harder, I think we can accomplish it. Where we can cross-train employees, and we have to look at internal control also, because some employees can't do more than one or two things. So, but we want to keep the staff. We're trying to make sure that the positions that are really needed are funded and are filled. But I'm not sure if we're going to attract people to come to us, being that they know that, you know, people is psyche of they knowing that this system is going to decline. I'm not sure if we're going to attract, and if we do attract younger folks, they may leave before. Because if they're going to leave before they get close to 5 years, you know, because we don't have, between 2018 and 2023 is very close. So even if you bring in new employees, they may leave before 2023. So we have to try to train our employees, we train them, do some cross-training, because there's a lot of employees here that, you know, we have a lot of institutional knowledge, and we're going to do whatever we can to retain our employees. Because some of them can't leave because they already invested for many years. But we would have to keep as much. We're into succession planning right now, looking at individuals who may want to and may be able to step up and become supervisors or managers. So this is the type of thinking we are doing within the GRS to try to retain as much. GRS is still going to be around in some form or another. It's not maybe around in the current form, but it's going to be around, and we still have to be able to service and administer the program. It's going to get a little tougher when the liquidity is zero. Because now we're going to be faced with how much to pay. We collected 10. We have a payroll of 21 million. Who should I pay? How are we going to pay? This is the reason why we went before the legislature. Now I'm saying if there's not a large infusion or the deficit of 135 plus is not appropriated from someplace, every period or every month, the system is going to be in a deficit position about $11+ million. Because we got about 10 for the contributions, maybe a 1.3 for the administrative expenses. Administrative expenses still have to be paid. So 1.3 million or more is going to have to be available to fund the bridge. And we can only pay out what we collect.
And if it doesn't come in on time,
and if it don't, suppose it doesn't come in on time, like what happened with, this is what I put before the legislature yesterday. If we had communication within the last 3 or 4 years, you know, all of this thing, we wouldn't have had all this mass negative confusion. I think we know the numbers. We are close to the numbers. I think what we're saying is right. Okay? Everybody can't be wrong, and only one person is right. We have to really look at what is happening here. Suppose we don't get these contributions in, like what happened with the hurricane. I mean, nobody gonna be paid. Okay? I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to be Scrooge, hurricane, and scaring anybody. It's just what I'm seeing. I may not be here, and I don't think I will be. But I'm gonna, you know, when I leave from here, I'm gonna be an advocate for this system. Because some people, they think that they're playing around with this thing. Okay? And they're not serious about it. Okay? And I don't see where this pot of gold is going to be coming from right now. I don't see it. We have some, I mean, we're working with Rocky to come up with some revenue generating projects. I mean, there's a marijuana bill out there. How much can we get from that? I mean, there's a lot of other things, but we need a comprehensive plan. And like I said, we'll be meeting with the new administration, and we put it on the table. I put it on the table yesterday to the senators, because we gotta be really serious now about what's happening. Okay. Mr. Chairman, that ends my report.
Any questions from Mr. Chair? Suggestion?
I had one question, actually two. But we always, in your report, we talk about the members added to the retiree roll.
Yeah.
Do we have a listing of the members added to the active? Because, you know, they were supposed to have hired so many new people, that didn't come up. But do we have a number of the ones that have been added to our active roll?
We can get that, but I know that after the hurricane, just about after, before then, we have lost over 1,000 members, active members. We probably can get based on entrance date.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
just,
run a report.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, basically just to see how many people we've added, because we always report on how many have been added to the retiree payroll, but how many members have been added to the active
Right.
donating pool?
Okay, well, Mr. Thomas is there. I'm sure he's taking notes. We can do it for central government. You want it also for the autonomous agency? Or
Just to see
central?
how many more people are paying in.
Okay,
We know how many have come out, but how many people are added that are paying in?
since 2015.
I don't think so.
Because we know how many have left.
Yeah, so we kinda wanna know how many have been added to.
Well,
Cause
okay.
we know, yeah,
Since January 7, 2015 to present, we can run a report with entrance date to determine how many government employees came onto the rolls
How many?
and how many came on.
I was trying to figure out why they did, but now I know what they did, don't worry about it, so that's what
We
they
can
did.
do it for the central government, and we can do it also a separate report for the autonomous agencies. Okay, Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, I already made some notes about that, so.
Okay, good.
And another thing, I'm surprised that you said WTJX didn't, because I saw 3 brand new vehicles parked in the lower parking lot, WTJX vehicles.
In our parking lot?
Yeah. And when you enter the gate on the left-hand side, there are 3 brand, so I said, oh, they're finally moving in.
No, well, you mean on the street side?
Facing
Facing
Buckingham Mall.
Alcones, facing
Not Buckingham.
Alcones Mall.
Facing Alcones Mall.
They got 3 brand new WTJX vehicles right there.
When you enter the main gate, right on the left-hand side where they just fixed the road, the parking area, they have 3 brand new vehicles parked there.
No,
We should check with Wyco why they're parking their vehicles on our property.
I thought they would get ready to move in. I was like, oh, they finally moving in.
well, there's supposed to be a chain there with a lock.
Not
No,
the
no, it's
upper-
down below.
not the
It's
upper
down below.
parking lot.
Oh,
it's
the
down
lower
below.
part
down
of the
below.
bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't know why they're there. No, we really thought we would have had them as tenants, but you know, just back and forth, that type of
They're a
thing.
mess. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure why they park. Maybe they're renting from what?
It's still just.
I know. Yeah, I was just wondering, because I was thinking that it would be ready to move in.
Chairman, that ends my report.
Any questions? Trustee? All right, any questions?
Mr. Nims?
No, no. I have one suggestion. As soon as we have a new head, if we do, of justice and or personnel, as Ms. Potter or someone else should meet with that person and discuss payment of rent and electrical bill on a timely basis. And I don't wanna keep hearing this thing next year that we have only to read.
No, I guess it depends on allotments too, but it depends on their allotments from the government.
But they need to,
Put it in their budget.
they need to.
I'm just, it's in their budget, but depends on when they're allotted. Sometimes they don't get the full allotments. They may get it only for salaries and fringe benefits, but depends on their allotments. So we work with them, you know. But you're correct, we should, I don't know. Like I'm saying, I'm only assuming that's the problem. Ms. Potter, you can go ahead and.
Yeah, if I may, whenever there is a change in administration, we meet with the new heads. We've done that for each administration, and we will continue to do so.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Mims. Committee reports, starting on my left.
The investment committee held a meeting last evening, and at that time, a presentation was made by Mr. Jonathan Walk, W-A-L-K, and this presentation concerned GRS's interest in the Havenside property and Coakley Bay property. Committee expects to have further cooperation with Mr. Walk and obtain further assistance from him with respect to whatever GRS intends to do with those two properties going forward. This is my presentation in a rather general way, but I think it's appropriate to leave it at that for the time being.
The policy committee, Attorney Williams will pass the information to Mr. Lennon for your employee handbook. So you should get that. He'll discuss it with you when you guys are finished, when we're finished, to get it to you.
Is it the questions that are being asked?
Just a few comments.
Would I have privy to that also? Maybe he can send me a copy if he's gonna send it to Mr. Lennon.
Mr. Attorney Williams, you heard him?
Attorney also.
Yes.
Oh yeah, thank you, Mr. Cohen, Dr. Cohen, for your response.
Budget committee, having a little bit of problems getting all the members together. But I have asked them to review the budget on their own. They have any questions, send them to me, and I can relay the questions or comments to them. I need to have the budget approved by the Budget and Audit Committee by December 28th. December 28th. This is the third date. The first one was November 23rd. This is like 5 weeks later. Need to have it done. So in fact, Mr. Nibbs sent me an email recently asking me any movement on the budget. I mean, it's not that difficult. I was able to go through it on my iPad. If you need a hard copy, let us know quickly so that. But I think since you all have young eyes, if I did it on my iPad, I think you all can do it also. So get back to me as soon as you can. President, I hope we can have it approved.
Thank you. Just want to say it's no whole lot of fluff in there.
No.
It's straightforward. I know we do need to build our infrastructure, so we have some monies in there for infrastructure, some for the building repairs and things like that, but as far as employees and salaries, it's set, so, you know, it's nothing really adult chicken. We'd like to get that budget down some, but we can't. It's hard to cut because of the maybe over 55% between salaries and fringes, and the rest is just professional fees and whatever IT needs are. It's just bare bones.
We can't cut IT, we need IT.
And we have a building we have to fix, so, you know.
Okay, we move on to the treasurer's report.
Good morning, board chair, other board members. This is the schedule of receipts and disbursements for the month end.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure who's speaking.
Denise Jeremiah.
Okay, thank you. Can you start over, please? Sorry.
This is the schedule of receipts and disbursements for the month ending November 30th, 2018. Receipts and collections. Loan repayment, $1,877,725. Year to date, $4,285,503. Rent from tenants / utilities, $213,236. Year to date, $530,015. Rents from Havenside tenants, $519,168. Year to date, $968,191. Employer retirement contributions, $5,098,231. Year to date, $11,487,742. Employee retirement contributions, $3,072,260. Year to date, $6,562,976. Parking facility, 540. Year to date, 1,170. Miscellaneous, 681,929. Year to date, 1,347,999. Total collections, 11,463,088. Year to date, 25,183,595. Disbursements, annuity payments, 22,549,806. Year to date, 43,946,358. Administrative expenses, 1,179,405. Year to date, 2,233,838. Personal loans, 20,452. Year to date, 166,260. Mortgage loans, 33,668. Year to date, 175,197. Retiree loans, 857. Year to date, 74,556. There are no auto loans for the month of November. Year to date, 102. Land loans, 1,694. Year to date, 1,694. Refund of contributions, 1,072,239. Year to date, 2,094,833. There is no allotments to WICO for the month, but year to date, 924,038 for total disbursements of 24,858,121. Year to date, 49,616,875 for a net deficit of 13,395,032.
Year-to-date, net deficit 24,433,218. That's the end of the schedule of receipts and disbursements.
Thank you very much. Trustees, any questions? Comments? None? Hearing none? A motion for approval?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Cohen. Yes. Trustee Liger.
Yeah.
Trustee Maynard.
Yes.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith, absent. Chairman Callender.
Yes.
Chair, 5 yes, 2 absent.
Investment officers report.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, and the rest of the trustees. This is an update of the performance for the month of November 2018 of the investment fund. A total plan returned 0.8% for the month, underperformed its benchmark by 50 basis points. Total equities, 2.2% return, was in line with its benchmark. Total fixed incomes, 0.4 return, underperformed its benchmark by 20 basis points. Total alternatives, 0.6% return, underperformed its benchmark by 170 basis points. Notable manager performance, Brandywine, 0.2% return, underperformed its benchmark by 32 basis points. Moving on to the cash flow for the month of November 2018. We began the month at approximately, we ended the month at approximately 638 million. This excludes member loans program, St. Thomas Complex and St. Croix Complex. No funds were raised in the month of November. There is plan to raise 10 million in the month of December, and that 10 million will be sourced from the Russell 1000 Growth Fund. As it relates to investment management, custodian, and consulting fees, month to date we paid $53,000. Calendar year to date we've paid 1.4 million, and fiscal year to date we've paid 161,000. As it relates to securities lending, we had $400 in earnings for the month of November, which brings our year to date to 16,000 and fiscal year to date earnings to $900. As it relates to the month, we had a beginning market value of about 648 million. We had a net cash flow of 15,092,649, of which we withdrew for benefit payments. We had income of about $1 million, and again in a portfolio of about $4 million, bringing us to the ending market value of 638 million. Mr. Chair, that completes my report for the month.
Any questions, trustee? Comments? See the graph, right? Yeah. And new business, approval of 2019 board meeting calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I haven't seen that calendar.
It was sent out.
It's right in your. Let's keep following. Do you see the treasurer's report?
Yeah, but shouldn't we have received this?
I think all this stuff was sent out. Where's Miss Cooley?
It's there.
Yeah.
This is not,
It's good.
just 12 dates, not rocket science. So look at the dates and prove them. Probably won't be many changes on what we do. pass. You see it? Generally, the meetings have been held on the fourth Thursday. Thursday is holiday. We need to hold a special meeting. It should continue on the fourth Thursday. Trustees, you see it? Mr. David, is there a holiday any place along the way?
Yeah, what she took into consideration, Ms. Cooley took into consideration all holidays. Appears with Carnival goes into May this year. So just a cursory look, it appears that it's okay. Those that have the third week, it's because of holiday.
So October the 3rd, what's happening October 24th?
October.
The 20, that's IFAP.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it back together.
Yeah, April, so we're having it in April. Troy, you have to, if you do that, you're gonna definitely have to do plane tickets early. That this is the Thursday. Everybody travels.
Is that the?
A Jubilee morning.
Yeah, that's usually a VI holiday, so.
For St. Thomas.
What day?
Yeah, the 25th, the Thursday is always Juve. Remember, we usually
Yeah,
go
but
out
Carnival runs in, the Juve will be on in May.
Okay, I don't know, I was looking.
Carnival runs into May this year.
Okay, cause I was looking for the calendar, but it's not on their website yet.
I found it when I Googled.
Yeah,
you can find it? Okay, I couldn't find it.
She has done
Okay.
her research.
It is the 20, that's the carnival thing. So,
Yeah, when is Carnival?
It is June
Yeah, Carnival is in
27th,
May.
you're gonna be.
Carnival runs into May.
June 27th, you may be in Toronto.
Wait, May the 3rd.
But we have to set a calendar.
Yeah.
May is the third Thursday and October is the third.
So the parade is gonna be on the second and the third.
Yeah.
October is the international.
Juve will be on the first.
Oh, okay. And so May would be NC Bud. Fully?
Yeah.
Tell you, Miss Cooley has researched.
Yes,
this.
May is NC first.
That's what she did. She compared the calendars. She got skills.
So we okay?
Yes, yeah. It's okay.
If necessary, you can always change the date and have a special.
Sure.
Yeah. Because when I looked, it said Carnival run into May, and this is showing
Yeah.
something else.
It's the first.
That's okay, isn't it?
Sure what?
April 1st to April 29th.
Really?
Well,
No,
it's not the St. Thomas.
I went to, and I
Okay,
tried to
you're-
call
it's-
Carnival
you're
Committee,
right.
and they don't
You're
answer the
right.
phone.
Your calendar is correct.
Okay.
Last year it didn't run into me. This year it's gonna run into me.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Easter is late.
Yeah, it depends on how
Everything is
Easter
pushed
fall.
back. So you're correct.
Easter on Carnival. If Easter
Alright, so we
falls.
said we okay? So we need to get a motion to approve the calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I propose that the proposed calendar for the year 2019 approved that way. The board, the calendar for the board trustees.
Second.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger,
Yeah.
Trustee Maynard,
Yes.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith, absent. Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
Chair 5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you, Mr. The trustees, put this in the calendar. So we all know it.
What's that?
The calendar, the approved calendar. Keep it in hand. Okay. Who was doing that?
Okay, I'll ask Ms. Glendinning to start out. I know I've asked also IT to be there because it involves IT. And I've asked some other senior management to be there. So Ms. Harwood can lead that. Ms. Glendinning.
Good morning. Just to go over our 2020 strategic plan update, a reminder that there are 5 areas of focus, plus, of course, our capital and our infrastructure there. We have organizational development, stakeholder engagement, technological, infrastructural advancements, financial and fiscal sustainability and accountability, and operational efficiency and excellence. There are 2 documents. I noticed there was only one in the packet, but in your packet you have the PowerPoint overview, providing you a brief description of each area of focus and some major performance goals associated with it. There are 40 performance goals associated with the 5 areas of focus and 142 strategic action items associated with those 40 performance goals. So there's plenty to keep everyone busy. In the GERS, we are not operating separate than the strategic plan, so everything that's happening, although our inception of the plan was late, we didn't really get started until fiscal year 17. Everything that's happening is in conjunction with what was outlined by all in the strategic plan. So the first one, organizational development, it talks about our members of the workforce, their tasks and responsibilities, outlined in their job description, how they perform, and again, help the agency operate. Employees' motivation to perform could help the organization or hinder the organization, which we have learned. So some of our measurable objectives, of course, is to improve career advancement opportunities for the employees and improve the work environment and update the employee handbook. Employees have to know what's expected of them so they could have something to work from, and we're working on the handbook, got the information, so that should be rolling out once approved by the board and all the comments and suggestions updated, so we could provide training for them on that. Promotions, we had 9 promotions, and you see in 2017 we only had 3. So a concerted effort is being made again to hire qualified persons inside the agency prior to going outside as part of organizational development. We also activated again the Labor Management Committee, working with labor and union for a harmonious working environment. And recently our Labor Management Committee took up safety. That was big for them, so we're going to tackle that. Completed all negotiations. Negotiations we used to, I guess long time ago it was in-house, and then it was given to the Office of Collective Bargaining. We brought it back in-house, and we were able to complete those negotiations for the staff and the supervisors unions. And that's organizational development. We also met with directors about their job descriptions, so we were able to update 33 job descriptions and notified or provided copies to the unions and to the employees, and that's because, and there's more to do, some of the job descriptions, they were outdated, and as our environment changed internally and externally, we are adapting. We began training for employees. We had a training calendar for fiscal year 18, and then there was the storm, so we're kind of ramping back up training again for the employees, starting with the Microsoft Office training in collaboration with UVI Cell. But there are a number of other types of training that we were working with Division of Personnel on. The customer service unit did training with them, and those type trainings will be available to all staff, and it would be mandatory training. Making greater use of work teams, and that's kind of cross-agency collaboration and not making decisions in a vacuum, because we know every unit kind of affects the other units. So bringing more persons to the table. So most recently, Mr. Nibs have started inviting the managers and supervisors to meetings so they could be a part of the discussion. A part of the strategic plan, a big part was involving the employees in decision making and having more transparency. So that's the beginning of that. Building stronger employee-employee relations through socials. We had a wonderful, wonderful holiday party. We want to, as part of ERAC, to reintroduce their birthday club. We have ERAC events where we do things for the employee monthly or every other month. We have just some little treat or something so they could feel appreciated. I know we have something going on tomorrow for them, and brunch type gift exchange on Christmas Eve on both islands. I think socials and fellowship between employees are very important, that employees get to speak and see each other in a different environment. And it helps a lot when you're talking about building teams. So it's not just that you work hard, you have to play hard too. It's a good balance. We conducted our employee survey, and we didn't do very, very well on the employee morale. I think the overall was like 4.5. I mean, there were a lot of 9s and 10s and 8s and 7s, but this is cumulatively, and 75% of the people participated. So we sent a follow-up survey telling them exactly what we can do to improve that overall number. So that's something I'll be putting together, working with Mr. Nibs, the management, and the LMC to move forward with in 2019. Continue to implement the strategic plan. We developed a system, this is still under organizational development, develop a system of checks and balances. The reconciliation and control unit was created. And through that unit and their duties, they're discovering lots to be corrected and shored up, which only can aid us in our census data and how we do things at GRS. The second strategic focus is stakeholder engagement, and this is promoting our visibility and our brand through whether it's social media and the website, through communication. So Ms. Morton and her team has been working hard, hired lost one through retirement, but hired customer service representatives, changed job descriptions. So instead of receptionists, we have customer service associates, so everybody could know that their job also is to provide that level of customer service. We brought all of them into training so they too can give more information than just transfer customers. I think the overarching mission of our customer service unit is to be proactive and responsive with accurate information. We started the branding, so we had new stationery and letterhead and how our PCs look and our voicemails and all that with our new phone system. We have cross-organization collaboration on the newsletter, so it's a more complete project of what's going on totally in GRS and improve that. The workshops are ongoing. It is our goal to, again, be proactive in the workshops, not just schedule them for them to come to us, but do virtual counseling and workshops through Zoom and go out to agencies and hold sessions there. Increase our social media presence. A new person was just hired, Ms. Freeman. Instead of just, I think Ms. Morton calls it pushing information, we'll do kind of that two-way information so we can respond to them. So she is young, talented, and bright, and a social media buff, so we'll be getting more information out there and responding. We have the Saturday radio broadcast program, and something is in the works for not only doing maybe a program, call in or something similar, but also having videos recorded of all the workshops, that if you can't come to a workshop for some reason, you could be anywhere and watch that workshop online. We send updates regularly to staff, so if GRS is in the news or anything is going on. Another piece of information we found from the surveys was lack of communication, so we try to do that better now. We issued our first annual statement as of December 31st, 2017. Employee and employee contributions on the website. We had a wonderful summit, I think that was in 2017 or late 2016. We had 2 very successful town halls. On St. Thomas, we had almost 700 people and almost 400 on St. Croix, and I think that's a first. We had we re-implemented our regularly scheduled HR officers meetings. So we have those meetings with them yearly, opening up the communication for the type of information and data we receive. And so persons, active and retirees, the information could be more accurate and timely and keep them informed, because they too are ambassadors. So we kind of knighted them, our first set of GRS ambassadors, with the information. All right, so that's stakeholder engagement. As you notice and I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed in the last 2 years or so, I remember when I first was hired in GRS, the conversations, whether you listen to a talk show or anything else, it was GRS, bad investments. You heard that all the time. You couldn't say anything else except GRS had a bad investment. And that conversation, through communication and member education and all the efforts of everyone here at GRS and Mr. Nibbs kind of pushing the information, truly has changed some of the conversations where people are saying, oh, the government needs to pay. You don't hear that as much, and that's something everybody should be proud of, and we should continue that. Strategic focus, technology. The technology and IT era has been very, very busy. A lot of our network and our infrastructure is outdated or antiquated, and usually when something breaks, then of course Terry has sleepless nights. But we want to bring it up into the 21st century and beyond. A part of the strategic plan was to hire a Chief Information Technology Officer, which we did, and we got a good one. He did a system assessment, needs and cost analysis. So we began by strengthening our connectivity with some redundancy we're going to be doing on both islands, mirroring some off-island data backup, so if something happens to us that we are able to connect very quickly wherever there's internet connectivity. To upgrade and leverage technology so we're not so dependent on hardware because it's expensive to maintain and build, and they get antiquated pretty quickly in technology. So you bought something 8 years ago, you already have to find parts on eBay. So how we can move everything to the cloud and migrate our systems to the cloud, so no matter where we are, we can access. In line with that, strengthening our security to make sure we're not vulnerable to those type of attacks. We started some automated processes right now, Time Clock Plus. We have a Time Clock Plus. It has reached end of life, so they're not supporting it anymore. We're in the process of upgrading to a cloud-based software. So unlike now, because the employees can't see it now, they can go, they can see it at their own time, through a workflow, they can approve it, everything is real time. So I think they're going to be excited about that. We're also automating our performance evaluations. Right now, they're not being done on a regular basis, and that could mean maybe the managers are busy. But with this new automated process and a workflow system, we think starting with the employees doing their own and kind of working through a workflow and a discussion, it should ease that. and we should have better returns of performance evaluations, which are important. The technology needs were budgeted. IT is in the process and has started already implementing all our new PCs. Again, everything is end of life, antiquated, so we're upgrading our servers. There should be underway, and all our PCs. Again, we did training in Office 365 and Microsoft training, and that's ongoing. We will do a train the trainer, so internally we can do that going forward. The initial startup, UVI Cell, we partnered with them to conduct it for all employees. And any makeup, and then going forward we'll do a train the trainer, so the trainers will train UVI, and that will save us going forward. And we talked about the use of Zoom and using that for technology and video conferencing. All right, strategic focus number 4, financial and fiscal sustainability and accountability. This area of focus has a high rate of completion because a lot of it was tied to the initiatives of the board to implement various fiscal kind of controls in order and help the legislature or recommend to the legislation in order to help us. So whether it's retirement age, tier 2, increasing the contribution, the legislative rate, the judge's contribution, doing more in the return to work, and that double dip in suspending the COLA, those things has helped the system. So they have a lot of checks, the board, on this area. Again, we utilize video conferencing, like we're not all sitting in St. Croix, and that saves us too. We have ongoing cases to collect any money that's owed to GRS. We started a more aggressive monitoring of death cases and bank collection. Legislation passed to stop the double dipping and monitoring double dippers with the Division of Personnel, and implementing the dynamic asset allocation planner is all a part of the performance goals and strategic actions under financial and fiscal sustainability and accountability. So we're right on schedule for that. The final area of focus is operational efficiency and excellence. Again, we want well-documented, comprehensive procedures and policies for staff and management. Improving our customer service and our culture of empowerment, giving the employees more power to make decisions and kind of not sitting around waiting for somebody to tell them something. Increasing efficiency across the agency, and improving our organizational leadership capacity. So we're starting out with this employee handbook. IT, when a new project is online, like we've seen with, say, let's say Time Clock Plus and they were Doc Link and Mass and all the upgrades that we needed. The IT is the project lead, but all the persons in the room, they're invited to the table, right? So they can sit a part of that rollout system so we can make sure we're not doing things in a vacuum again. We did a lot of reorganization, and there'll probably be more redesign to come. So accounting, communication and member education, payroll, contributions, they all had reorganizations, and loans. Reconciliation and control, they're a big part of it. They do our database cleanup, our census, tracking all our NOPAs and the information that comes out of that to allow us to have this annual benefit statement, and the posting of all contributions. We have returned to having regularly scheduled mandatory staff meetings, so they occur in March, second week in March, and in September and December. So that 3 things mandatory every year. That was another thing in a strategic plan, that they want regular staff meetings that they weren't having. The cross-training is ongoing in all the areas of reorganization, and what it is that because of our internal and external environment, and the disruption that's happening and the changes that are going on, no longer we can be so specialized. We need more people to know more things. So if somebody leaves the agency by resignation because they don't want to be vested, or retirement, that others can pick up easily, and we can do a job analysis and assessment whether or not we want to replace that position. Again, the labor management committees and held meetings with the union representatives throughout, telling them of the current status of GERS and kind of how we want to work hand in hand moving forward. So what that has resulted of, we don't have many grievances. We didn't have any as a result of the reorganizations, and we did a lot, and it's because we're doing it as a partnership. We're not doing it by ourselves. Our recommendations and next steps is kind of work on the ongoing items, to do a survey of our retirees and active members about the customer experience they're having at GRS, so we can have a starting point for our customer service unit. Some benchmarks. The GRS Ambassador Program, to roll out our Time Clock Plus, the electronic performance management, and the employee handbook. We're gonna have some sessions where we redesign member services. Mr. Nibbs has a vision of what he expects, and hopefully he keeps talking about that he's not gonna be here, but maybe before he's not gonna be here anymore, we would redesign how we do business in member services. Complete the customer service rollout, and then revise the strategic plan. 2020 will be here before we know it. And with insolvency looming and things like that, we need to revisit it and revise it. And again, the handbook to send to the union, according to the CBA, we have to give them 30 days notice, not for their approval or disapproval, for their notification. And if they have any questions, that they can come back to us. So whenever we get that, then we'll have 30 more days to send it to them. And that completes my update on the strategic plan. Thank you.
I would like to know, are there any plans to continue or reinstitute that training program for Microsoft Word and things like that?
It's ongoing. I mean, as a matter of fact,
Some people are there today.
Yeah, they're there today. It's ongoing. I missed my Tuesday.
Me too.
Because I had to come over here. But
there are makeups in January through maybe beginning of March. We have dates already with UVI to finish the intermediate Excel, do PowerPoint, and do one makeup day for every intro to Word, basic computing, intro to Excel, and all of those. So we'll have one makeup day where everybody will go, so we could do the trainer, and then the trainers will be responsible for the training. So that's happening right now.
Am I hearing the board wants to attend?
Yeah. We were supposed to be invited, Mr. Thomas.
Dates that we had.
Okay, so the dates in January, February, and March, what I would have to do first is schedule each of you for an assessment. So we will work on your assessment first so we could know which class you would be placed in.
What do you mean assessment?
You gotta take a test.
What we know?
Take a test.
Yeah, so you know whether you're beginners,
Or
intermediate,
intermediate, correct.
or hopeless.
Starting to the lowest level you have. Whatever the lowest level.
Okay, so please look for communication on that.
So you will send some information on that, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, any other comments, trustees?
Yes, Mr. Thomas, you want to add anything about what you're doing?
Well, we have a lot of things going on. As Ms. Clendenin said, we've started some processes where we're actually moving some of the lower hanging fruit software systems to the cloud. Right now we're working with Time Clock Plus and our performance evaluation system, but also scheduled for the next 6 to 8 weeks, probably going down into the end of February, is the accounting suite. So that includes Mass 500, DocLink, Sage, HRMS. We've started the ball rolling with Southeast Computers on that. And part of that process is actually to sit down with Ms. Jeremiah and some of her team members in terms of redesigning some of their workflow processes As a matter of fact, Denise does a good job of reminding me she wants to get it done sooner than later. Right?
Another note?
Yeah, she just sent me a note. One of the other things we're also working to get done to comply with tax reporting is obtaining the latest software for printing out the 1098s, which include statements of interest for mortgages and some other things. So that's what's going on. What else? We are also working with doing some upgrades for records management in terms of their hardware. Their scanning hardware has been here from, I think, the inception of V3, so that is going to be upgraded, and that includes a software upgrade as well. Like a lot of the other systems here at GRS, that system is going to be moving to the cloud too. We get weekly updates from the vendor on that, so they've set up a test environment and they're working with that as we speak. We've started rolling out our new PCs, as Ms. Clendenin indicated. We had a little technical challenge with a particular thing in V3, but my staff was able to rectify that, and so we've put together a rollout schedule. Overall, it's about 87 machines throughout the entire organization. So far, we've rolled out about 20 or 21, I don't remember the exact count. And we have plans to roll everything out by Valentine's Day. That's the plan between both islands. We've actually shipped some parts of the equipment to St. Croix already. We will be setting the equipment up here in St. Thomas, shipping it over to St. Croix and doing a deployment over a weekend. So we've started the ball rolling with our new PCs, which takes us from Windows 7, which has been end of life for about a year, into the Windows 10 environment. Servers, we are scheduled to start replacing servers sometime in January. They've been on order. They have to be custom built, but the plan is to roll those out in the first quarter of 2019. So you're talking between January and March. And then the biggest item for us is V3. As you know, we implemented V3 going on 7 years, and there are a number of things that are coming up in V3 that, due to the age of the infrastructure and the software systems we're using, you can get support, or if you get support, you kind of have to pay a premium for it. So as of yesterday, as a matter of fact, I had a brief meeting with some of the technical team members for Vitec, and we have been discussing moving our V3 environment to the cloud. Mr. Nibs, Mr. Kaseri said they'll be sending you an email outlining some changes. I don't want to get into that in this particular discussion, but based on what was mentioned in that meeting yesterday, I've already started being proactive in terms of addressing some of the concerns they have. Like any software system that you purchase, there comes a point where the vendor is just going to tell you we can't support that anymore because, you know, it's several versions behind and it's just impossible for us to support it. So that's where we headed. V3 is expected to take about 18 to 24 months to fully transition to the cloud. So that's why we're doing all of these other systems first, getting them out of the way because they're easier to deal with, and then we'll start the heavy lifting with V3. Along those lines, there are other things going on. We're working with Ms. Gums Morton and putting together the call center for customer service. As was mentioned, we have systems here now that would allow us to host meetings with retirees and active members virtually using Zoom. We do have some plans in works. Money has been put in the budget, and once it's approved, to upgrade our video conferencing systems, take it from an analog environment to a digital environment, and give us better performance. And basically that's it. You know, there's a lot of stuff happening in the world of IT, and I want to thank my staff for working with me. We do have one vacancy we've been trying to fill, but in the interim, we're making do with the team members that we have.
going to the cloud includes moving to version 10?
We are going to move the current version, which is version 8 first, then stage to version 9, and then ultimately move to version 10, yes.
So we can't do a jump directly to version 10?
No, it's not recommended.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. That's it, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, you have a question, Dr. Callender?
Is that it?
Yes, that's it. That's it for me.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Proceed. Okay, so this portion of the meeting will be held to discuss financial or commercial information. Motion for an executive session.
Mr. Chair, I move that we enter into executive session. Items discussed, may be financial or commercial.
Second the motion.
Trustee Caldwell? Yes. Trustee Cohen?
Yes.
Trustee Liger? Trustee Maynard? Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith? Absent. Chairman Callender?
Yes.
The chair, 5 yes, 2 absent. Mr. Thomas, could you turn that system down? Off?
Shut it off.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, the street. Yeah, always over there.
We will put it on mute, because we may have to come back and record it, so.
No problem. We'll put it on mute.
All muted over here and over there. Yeah, that's what I want.
And they should still leave.
Yeah, they got it.